GoPro may be up for sale. I had to double check the headline of the article, and I read the article, and yeah, GoPro may be exploring options to potentially sales. And honestly, it changes the different perspective of what the Mission 1 series of cameras are, sort of what their intentions are actually for. So here's the article. GoPro may be for sale after its Mission 1 camera pivot. I'll brief, but let's go through the article and let's see. So GoPro's Mission 1 story just became much bigger than a camera launch. The company has announced that its board of directors has authorized a strategic review process that could include a sale of the company or merger. The announcement follows several unsolicited inbound strategic inquiries which arrived after GoPro started pushing into defense and aerospace. So definitely, if you have time, read the whole article. But essentially, it goes into, it's like it's reviewing, similar to how the news started breaking about Ari, that look, Ari wasn't necessarily saying they were going to sell, but they were exploring all their options. And I mean, ultimately, we do know Ari ended up being sold to a new owner, to having a new owner, who has a company that's very heavily in broadcast. And right now, there's I think the event's called Eurovision, but there's like a big European concert that they're having Ari cameras on set and running it. So the whole integration of Ari cameras into broadcasting has already begun. But I also want to say this doesn't necessarily mean that GoPro is going to be up for sale. They're simply saying, like Ari, they are exploring all their options. But it says a public review of strategic alternatives is a serious corporate move, especially when a company openly says that a sale or merger could be part of the evaluation. So, and it looks like what's kind of setting this into motion is the fact that it says right here, the timing is the story. GoPro says the review follows a recent engagement with Oliver Wyman, a global defense sector consultant firm, to support expansion into defense and aerospace. Since that announcement, GoPro has received several unsolicited strategic inquiries. That sequences give the board's decision a clear context. This is where Mission 1 becomes more interesting. The Mission 1 series has already a major effort. GoPro was no longer talking only to skiers, cyclists, vloggers, and action sports creators. It was speaking to professional image users, compact cinema workflows, aerospace payloads, unmanned systems, defense applications, and rugged production systems. And then later on into the article, it talks about how this sort of changes what sort of that the Mission 1 is not necessarily a new product launch just necessary for creators, but it looks like the Mission 1 series is actually kind of being used as leverage, or as being used as sort of like to fish out potential investors, potential buyers. So as it says right here, Mission 1 now looks more like more than a product. It may be part of an argument for GoPro's future value. The camera line gives GoPro a new narrative around compact, high-performance imaging. The company can point to rugged design, stabilization knowledge, small camera engineering, manufacturing scale, and a brand that is still globally recognized. In cinema terms, this means POV rigs, crash cams, vehicle mounts, drone work, immersive capture, and compact production systems. In defense and aerospace terms, it suggests payload cameras, field imaging, training systems, unmanned platforms, inspections, and mission focus capture. That does not mean Mission 1 was designed to prepare GoPro for sale. There is no evidence for that. The point is simpler. A company reviewing strategic alternatives needs to show future relevance. Mission 1 helps GoPro with this case. Essentially, what it looks like now, it's based on this article, is saying that they may be using the new Mission One series as sort of like a evaluation to potentially to if defensive contractors, aerospace contractors want to come in and either invest or potentially buy out the company or merge into the company. I have quite a few thoughts about this. On the one hand, I'm looking at it like it's clear that they're kind of moving away from like small body like vloggers, content. I would say content creations in terms of vloggers, like in one man people, and they're trying to figure out a ways to move it. While yes, into cinema, but larger than that, they're looking to possibly put this onto space, possibly space missions, maybe into military industrial complex, which I don't. To me, that worries me. I'll be honest. It in the short term, that worries me because the interest of what the designs of their cameras and also their products going forward will change. Instead of being for consumers and creatives like us, it may be designed more so for like military purposes, for space exploration. Which, look, in terms, if it helps with scientific advancement, if GoPro can find a new avenue in terms of like scientific advancement, I'm all for that. And but it does change who the person of interest for GoPro is. It does change who will GoPro listen to potentially. I will just say potentially. Again, none of this is like this. Nothing is happening. But GoPro is exploring those options. So with that, it sort of changes my. I mean, I already had some. Some of y'all that see my video and I know y'all know I have critiques of the Mission One, or at least the interchangeable one. This sort of puts it like, okay, well, how long is just an average schmo like me actually going to be the target audience for GoPro products, or will these products now switch into more highly affluential customers? Because again, this is the thing with publicly traded companies, and you got a board. At the end of the day, they're always going to not necessarily look out for the customers. They will, and most of them typically will try to do their best to. But at the end of the day, publicly traded companies are going to look out for their investors, and they have a fiduciary responsibility to put the best strategic forward for their investors. And that doesn't always correlate with the consumers, or normal normal consumers. I'm really curious to see where this goes for. And look, I don't think this changes like in terms of features and what the Mission One series are going to be. They are going to be what they're going to be. And we still have to wait for the full release to see how they function out. But depending on what happens, how GoPro proceeds with, if there is a sale or if there's a merger, and if they're merge with like a military industrial complex, or they merge with like aerospace, it will change sort of the trajectory of their future products. So I'd love to know what you guys think. We'll go in chat and let me know what you guys think. I would love to hear what you guys have to say.